What up, Raider Nation? It's game day, baby. We're doing a live stream. We're bringing back that karma, going back to the last matchup. We did a game day live stream, brought good karma. Raiders got the win in Arrowhead. Hope everybody's having a good day. Supposed to be in Vegas this weekend. We canceled that, dude. Ain't doing the 50% capacity. So here I am, man, back at home in my living room, man. Got a Sunday Night Football going down tonight. So hoping you guys are all doing well, man. Appreciate you guys all that tune into the podcast. We've been a little scrappy this year, getting content out and all that. So it's been a little bit of one of those weird years, but, seeing where the excitement's at, seeing what's going down, getting that coffee in right now. It's going to be Modelo time is going down shortly, man. Got everything in full force. We're doing a tri-tip today. We're going to do some burgers. We're going to do some chicken. We're going to live it up, man. Eat good, live well this week. You know what I'm saying? So what up? We got one in the chat. What's going down, man? Raider football going down tonight, 5:15. Nationwide game, man. They're not going to cancel us. It's been a rough week for the defense. So let's see what's up. Get a swag of this coffee here. There we go. Got some folks jumping in. What up, Raider Nation? What's going on, baby? Hope everybody's doing well today. Got some in the chat there. Oh, actually, let me see here. Let me double check. So like today, my biggest matchup for today is Jon Gruden and Andy Reid, dude. The game planning. Andy Reid coming off the bye week. We all know that's a nightmare for most teams. He's only got 2 losses, I think, on his resume. So one of those things where, you want to win in that category, man. You want to be that third team to knock off Andy Reid. They're using hype, team bus lap, victory lap around the Arrowhead Stadium as motivation. I mean, that's all they could find this week. That's kind of weak. There's a lot more to this history than, a victory lap around Arrowhead Stadium. And, in my opinion, that's not even showing a crowd. That's not even showing a team up. That's more of just the team, whatever went down. It was the bus driver heckling them, whatever it was, but that's a non-story. We've seen it all around, man. We've seen Travis Kelce show up this team. We've seen Travis Kelce over celebrate. So every, top free agent wants to join the Chiefs. It's killing us. So give me your thoughts for today. Let me see in my questions here. I've not done a live stream in a minute here. So in the description, let me see here what's going down. All righty. So, but anyway, today, 7.5-point underdogs, I believe, going into today's matchup. And it's just one of those things, man, where, we don't want the media on our side, man. We want to basically, we want to set the tone on our standard, dude. Come off this thing. The Raiders came out 8-point victors the last game. That's pretty impressive, putting up 40 points on the road in Arrowhead. I think today, man, ultimate key today, continue to build the turnover differential. I keep preaching it in the podcast. Turnover differential is what direction this team needs to go in as far as being in the plus margin. Being in the plus margin in the turnover differential is you saw it last week, 5 turnovers. Put them in the +1 category. They've been -4 all year. So yeah, man. So to all that's in the live stream, pop up a question. Let's chat. Let's interact. Did not prepare for a podcast this week due to the fact that my plans were to be in Vegas today. I canceled those plans. 50% capacity in the bars is just not going to do it for me. I need that crowd element. I need that excitement. I can't be bouncing around bars like, hey, you got to go up the street because we've already maxed out here. So, so that's why I'm not in Vegas this weekend. And that's why we're here right now doing a show on YouTube, baby. Cheers. Cheers. What's going down? Who's fired up, man? Who is fired up? It's 5:15 tonight, dude. We're like 6 hours away from the big game, dude. And everybody's going to be watching. This is old school. I don't know if, like for me, I'm the guy that likes to go to games. I usually go to Oakland, been to the LA Coliseum, you name it, all the San Diego, Oakland Raider games throughout the years down here in San Diego. And been to a few Chiefs Raiders games. Good matchups to go to. Chiefs are my number 1 hated rivalry. I'm not really a hater, but when it comes to this matchup, this goes back to Marty Schottenheimer, Barry Word, Christian Okoye days, even Marcus Allen, going over to KC, all that stuff that's built this rivalry up to what it is now from when it started way back in the AFL days. So it's Raiders Chiefs Day, man. It's going down. I got my predictions, but, once again, we're 5 minutes into this thing, dude. I'm yapping. Where we at, Raider Nation? Where we at, baby? Where we at? Let's see here. Let me go through some of the content here on my notes and get my questions up here. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right, Raider Nation. So today, man, here's my key matchup, dude, is the Josh Jacobs versus the Chiefs rushing defense, man. What's up, Raider Jesse? What's going down, dude? How we feeling today? What are we barbecuing? What are we drinking, man? It's Modelo time in about an hour for me, man. So I'm going to be fired up. I partied hard last night, had some good friends over. A lot was going on last night. I'm out here in Southern California. Everybody wants to chill, party. We're going into, Thanksgiving week. So, it seemed like folks wanted to get together last night and party, man. I was supposed to be in Vegas this weekend. Did not. I canceled those plans. I refused to pay full price for 50% capacity and, possibly being tapped on the shoulder to not be so loud in a bar. I was actually told that. So I'm home. I'm home where I can fire up my grill, where I can do my thing, yell in front of the TV. There's going to be some hateful words towards the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. So it's on, bro. It's on, man. It is on. So I'm fired up. Let's see here. We're going to get into our notes here. So today we got it going down. Jon Gruden versus Andy Reid. Andy Reid is using the victory lap to motivate his team. We also got Josh Jacobs versus the Chiefs rushing defense. The Chiefs are ranked 29th against the run. And then also some key things we've been kind of talking about the last couple of weeks. Nick Kwiatkowski, Nicholas Morrow, man, containing the middle of the field. And then Trayvon, Mullen, Damon, Arnette, the awareness and zone coverage. Because the Raiders, man, they sit in that zone coverage a lot. They're not really sending the blitz. It's going to be a lot of stunts at the line. It's going to be a lot of confusion, kind of like what they did to Patrick Mahomes the last time. Kind of just shade maybe shade the zone, so that way you could create confusion for Patrick Mahomes. I think they blitzed 3% of the time last time they faced Mahomes. So yeah. Okay. So let's pop up this right here. We got Raider Jesse in the house. He said maybe some seafood, player. I love it. Hey, I love it. That's Oakland style right there, man. I miss those tailgates, man. I miss those tailgates. And but yeah, shout out to my boy Raider Frank, man. Livermore, California, dude. Always throwing the seafood on the grill. Even when he cruises over, man. He knows the spots, dude. We get that going. So yes, his question is, should we put David Irving or Arden Key at defensive end? And definitely. I mean, I think any kind of rotations on the defensive front, man, if you're flipping David Irving inside, I think David Irving with his arm span is like 7 foot. I forget it with his arms up. Basically, that's his measurables. That guy's like 7'4" or 7'5". So yes, clogging up the throwing lanes for Patrick Mahomes, because here's what Patrick Mahomes is going to do. We saw him in the last matchup versus the Raiders throw across his body. We've seen him do it in a lot of games, but under pressure, he came off, where he rolled out to the outside, came back to the middle, and he made that pass. I believe it went to Travis Kelce up the middle of the field right there. So he threw a nice little zip on that pass, dude, and on an insane completion. But Patrick Mahomes, man, I think with a guy like David Irving coming off the edge, Arden Key, who's explosive. He's showing the explosive moves. He's got the low dip and rip off the edge. He stays, kind of like similar to Von Miller. But Arden Key's not closing in on the quarterback, but he's not actually bringing the quarterback down. He's closing in, but he's creating pressure, but he's not quite that closer yet. So between those two guys playing at defensive end, I think absolutely. I think you got to give them a multiple of different looks. And that involves some stunts, that involves some quickness off the edge. But once Patrick Mahomes, the one scary thing about Patrick Mahomes is he always keeps his eyes downfield, and he is keeping his legs moving and his eyes downfield, and he is constantly looking for an open receiver, and he doesn't seem scared to get hurt, man. He's willing to take the hit. So I think that's the number one thing. Now, let me drop a stat, though, too. As far as adding David Irving into the mix, he's been out of football for a little bit. He's a great athlete. He's got the upside, but the thing is that when you're creating that push up front, it comes down to just key awareness. Guys that are sitting in the zone, like guys I mentioned, like Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnette, they're going to be playing. They've been playing a lot of zone in this Gunther defense. So, with that said, you want to create that erratic throw and possibly get that pick six. Man, we saw it last week with Jeff Heath able to step in front of the pass in the red zone, and that's another thing. The Chiefs, man, they're going to get into the red zone. So that's when you want to be at your best on defense, is that red zone defense, man. Create confusion, create turnovers, and once again, elevate that plus category in the turnover ratio, man. So let's see here. And I think, what another thing, dude, is like, what I think is, I think it's an advantage having like Nicholas Morrow out there over this guy Corey Littleton, dude. Corey Littleton struggled. We saw plenty of struggle with Corey Littleton, and just has not seemed to find his way in this defense. So Nicholas Morrow, Nick Kwiatkowski, both in the turnover in the turnover mark, creating turnovers for this defense, man. So it was a big deal for that. But yeah, man, like I'm looking forward to some sort of defensive play, some sort of big play for our defense, man. Like guys I just think our corners are playing good. Mike Mayock's done well when it comes to free agency, when it comes to when it comes to draft, dude. Trayvon Mullen's a find so far. Damon Arnette looks quick in the hips, man. He can hang in coverage, and the key is the one we saw was Isaiah Johnson, man. The two big plays he had versus the Chargers. So great question right here. Welcome to the show, Lisette. I'm Raider Dave. Welcome to the show, the Scrimecast Media. And do I think the defense will be affected because of not being able to practice? Absolutely, man. Because Paul Gunther's, when they're doing their walkthroughs and they're going, meeting rooms, you name it, they're looking over tendencies. I know they're probably shuffling a lot of that data through, today's technology. They can have online meetings. They could do a Zoom meeting, all that stuff to be, so everybody's in a safe spot, quarantined and all that stuff. So during their recovery or their quarantine during being exposed to the, to Cleveland Farrell and those guys. But yeah, I do think they will be affected, man. But at the same time, sometimes, just playing loose can be a benefit as well. So just playing loose and not, maybe you didn't, they probably got a walkthrough in yesterday because I think they were eligible yesterday. So they probably got some walkthroughs going through yesterday. But, when it comes to the defense being effective, I think absolutely, man. The NFL is a game of all the little things, man. It's all the small stuff, man, that can get you a big win. And we saw that last week, man, with the key red zone turnovers. So the defense is riding high, though, man. They're coming off a 3-game winning streak. They've had key moments. You've had momentum boosters like Isaiah Johnson's play in the end zone. You've had momentum boosters, the 5 turnovers last week, the sacks. And one thing when it comes to the defensive line, as we were talking about with Jesse earlier, the thing is this defense has had 14 quarterback hits in the last 2 weeks. So 7 hits last week and 7 QB hits the week before. So I know there's 2 different quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, up and coming rookie, and then you got what's his name, Drew Lock. Second year, he's shown glimpses, and he lost his whole wide receiver crew. So this is going to be the big test, man. And once again, it comes down to creating confusion, man. And it comes down to building that momentum, and it comes down to getting hits on the quarterback, which I don't think they're going to get too many hits on Mahomes, but I think Mahomes will. He's going to put up 30 points. That's what this Chiefs defense, this Chiefs offense does. They put up points, man. So it's going to be a major test. And it's going to come down to looking at what you did right on film. The last time you faced the Chiefs in that victory, man, you were able to hold them to 32 points. Technically you held them to 24 points. They got that late touchdown, but you're able to hold them to 32 points, I believe, in that game. So, therefore, with all that, you're going to, that's something to build on. And look at what you did right on film. And I know Cleveland Farrell, he's not going to be in this game. He was a big part of that success. And like I said, sometimes it's those stunts on the line. Sometimes it's not just winning your matchup in the trenches. Sometimes it's just having that awareness, knowing when to shed your blocker, knowing where the quarterback's going to be, and create that disruption. I think it's going to come down to hits, to be honest, today for our defense. I think it's going to come down to Travis Kelce going across the middle. If you can get that hit on him, a clean hit, even if it might be a penalty, but if you get that hit on Travis Kelce, say like a Jonathan Abram, just lays him out, something to get the team fired up. That could change everything, man. That could create that spark on the sideline, and then you're just looking at making the adjustments throughout the game, because that's going to be the key, I think, aside from them being affected without being able to practice. I think it's going to come down to game time adjustments, man. Looking at what you did right. And, we've had times where we've matched up well against this team, but once again, it's going to be a different animal today, because Andy Reid looked like he was desperate for some kind of motivation for his team, and using the team bus story to motivate his team. That's just what I see. I see Andy Reid looking, because that was created from the Chiefs side of things. It wasn't so to say the media. I think, I personally think that was created from the Chiefs. That came from their side of the fence there. So who should take over for Cleveland Farrell? Great question. I think Jonathan Hankins, of course, has had a solid year inside. I think Mo Hurst, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Now tell me, I did not check the injury report today. If Mo Hurst is playing, Mo Hurst is going to step right back in. He's been pretty good all year. But Cleveland's been really playing in the interior mostly all year. They've been using his size, his length. He's got the long arms. So I think David Irving, he got a few reps in last week. I know they keep talking about bringing him up from the practice squad, and he's been on and off and all that, but he actually did get some reps in last week. So, he had a few plays out there. He had a couple tackles as well. So we might see a little bit more from him. And, I just think, of course, Arden Key, you want to see him step in off the edge. And I really just think when it comes down to this Gunther defense, they do a lot of rotations, man. He changes it up a lot. Paul Gunther's more of like having the right frame. The way it's more like size and athletic ability, the way he sets up his defensive edge and the way his interior is set up. So Edgar Bonilla, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? It's been a minute. Welcome back, dude. Joiner's out today. So, okay. Wow. I did not see that. I saw that. I don't know if it was due to the COVID list or whatnot, but that is a loss, because when they put Joyner at free safety, he's very effective, man. He's able to, it's like more of his natural position. The nickelback isn't where his natural position is. But then again, we've seen him torched in the nickel. He's looking a little bit better in the nickel last couple of weeks. But then again, like I said, he's facing guys like Justin Herbert and Drew Lock, you know what I mean? So those are quarterbacks that, they should be able to figure out. But Joyner, with Joyner being out, though, I'm wondering if that's going to set up more for Amik Robertson, maybe to get some looks at nickel. If he's going to replace him at nickel, and then I want to see more of Isaiah Johnson out there, man, because these Mike Mayock defensive backs are showing promise, man. Trayvon Mullen being the number one lead guy, dude. Trayvon Mullen looks like a good NFL corner. I'm not going to say shut down, but he is definitely showing all aspects of his ability, man. I think, Trayvon Mullen has shown us a lot. He's a great tackler. He's great when he's covering, when he's in one-on-one coverage. He's great in knowing his assignments, knowing where he's supposed to be. He's shown us last year that he could have jumped a lot of routes. He even had the game-saving interception against Cincinnati. There's a lot of things Trayvon Mullen has brought to the table so far, and I think it starts with him, and then we're going to see what Damon Arnette evolves into. And so far, Damon Arnette, I'm not going to jump the gun, so to say, he's the 19th overall pick, but Damon Arnette, looks better than Garyon Conley did in his first 2 years. So I'll leave it that. I'll leave that at that. But Damon Arnette did, you didn't see the back of his jersey too much last week. So Damon Arnette held this up pretty good in that defense. But yeah, with Joyner out, as you're mentioning, we're going to see more of Jeff Heath, man. Jeff Heath at safety, he showed us that he keeps his eyes on the quarterback. He's reading the quarterback, man. He's watching his eyes. Jumping a red zone route last week was a clutch interception. So yes, I did not know that. I just caught the news early this morning that some of those guys were activated. 7, 8 players were activated back from the IR Rona list. But once again, defense is going to be key today, man. And here's my thing too. Like, I know the Raiders did get in a shootout the last matchup, 40-32 ball game. Man, today I'm really, really heavy on Josh Jacobs today, man. I think Josh Jacobs just has that winning spirit that lives inside of him, dude. Like, last year he played hurt. He even played that Chiefs game hurt on the road. And he was still taking the outside corner quick. This year, you're seeing him pound it between the tackles, him and Devontae Booker, man. The offensive line is getting a crazy good push, man. Like Gabe Jackson, let's start with Rodney Hudson, man. Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson, Denzel Good, those guys are doing their job in the middle of the offensive line. They are winning the shit out of their freaking matchups in the interior offensive line. And Josh Jacobs and Devontae Booker, man, it's all about their vision at that point and their quick legs, man, making those quick cuts, finding those lanes. And that's why you're seeing some big numbers pop up, especially last week. 4 touchdowns combined, 200 yards of rushing offense combined. You put all that together, you might as well continue to pound the rock. The Chiefs are 29th in the league, I believe, against the rush. The last 3 games, I think they've given up 120 plus yards a game, but their overall this year in defense, the Chiefs rushing defense, I believe, is 148 yards a game. So this is the game, dude, where because you got to look at it like this, man. Like, of course, we all know this is a key matchup and this is a must win for the Raiders. But if we're going to talk about the playoffs and we're going to talk about winning the division and all that fun stuff, 3-0 in the division, possibly could go 4-0 in the division today and sweep the Chiefs. If we're going to do this today, I really think it's important. Of course, play all out, open up your playbook, whatever you got to do to get the win. But I think it starts with Josh Jacobs. If you start to pound the rock and show them that Josh Jacobs is our workhorse and we are going to use him and we're going to use that offensive line that we got that's creating these lanes and creating these holes, I say this is how you approach tonight's game, man. You get those 45 rushes, 45 rushing attempts from the offense. You come in, you pound the rock. You beat them on the ground, just flat out. No offensive shootout, no nothing. You keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines, all that. And then if you have to face this team in the playoffs on the road, possibly, or just so happens the Raiders pull out the division and they get that division and they're playing the Chiefs at home, now you can really open up your playbook because now Andy Reid has to game plan from game one, when they had an offensive shootout of a 40-32 game, and then he has to game plan for another game where it's like, wow, dude, the Raiders just ran the ball down our throat. And, but that is the Chiefs' weakest link, man, is their rushing defense. And you just don't want guys like Chris Jones to be coming after Derek Carr all game. You want Chris Jones to be being blocked downhill and being exhausted after, a game where Josh Jacobs gets, say, 25 carries, say Devontae Booker pulls in about 12 carries, you're mixing it up. And Derek Carr even using his legs on a few plays. Derek Carr's using his legs about 4 or 5 times a game, man, to sustain drives. That's huge. Another thing, I think you got to get Darren Waller heavily involved, man. Heavily involved, for today's game, man. I think Darren Waller's one of those guys where it's like they have that chemistry, everything's there. But I think today, Darren Waller, he's your all-pro tight end. Josh Jacobs, your all-pro running back. These are key essential pieces. And I know everybody's talking about Henry Ruggs. I'm a big fan of Henry Ruggs. He was on my mock. He made it to the Raiders. I'm happy the Raiders drafted him, but I'm not pressuring Henry Ruggs at this moment, man, because I think he still is the best kept secret weapon. And when it's time to unleash that weapon, when you need him most, maybe today, but once again, I think that will evolve. So yes, I did see that, Edgar, man. I saw Riddick is out. and he was to fill in for Jalen Richard. Jalen Richard, I believe, had a chest injury, man. He, so I think he is still recovering. And yes, he agreed as well. Arnette is far a better corner than Conley. And that's the thing, man. Ohio State corners, man, they've been known for putting out great NFL corners. And, like I remember when the Raiders drafted Garyon Conley, I was a little sketchy on it, but I was, hopeful because he was an OSU corner. But yes, Arnette, he's got the speed. We never did get to see his 40, but a lot say, I think even Mike Mayock said he runs a 4.4, but you could see it on the field, man. I mean, he could, like I said, I'm not one to, when I evaluate corners, but like in his back pedal, when he can flip his hips, he can stay with a receiver, and that's what's promising. The key that's going to come down today is the red zone defense, man. And it's just, being patient from the defensive backfield, from Jeff Heath to, Jonathan Abram, Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnette. If Isaiah Johnson's on the field or Amik Robertson, whoever's flipping in the nickel slot there, when the opportunity presents itself, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there, man. Because if you're patient in the zone, Mahomes is gonna look all over the field, and then Mahomes is gonna make a couple crazy throws, man. He's gonna take some risky throws, and that's where you want him to pay the price. When he throws across his body, or when he's like, that unrealistic Madden type throw, that's where you want to create that turnover and possibly a pick six and just flip it on this team, man. So I got my fingers crossed, knocking on wood. I take this team very seriously. Watts Raider, what up, brother? What up, man? Welcome back. It's good to see you, man. It's been a busy week. I was actually supposed to be in Vegas this weekend, but I decided to cancel plans, dude, with 50% capacity, dude. It's just I need that full crowd, man. But yes, 6-3, baby. We are 6-3, man, and that's what feels great. 3-0 in the division. This team's 4-2 in the AFC. I believe they're 5th seeded right now in the playoff spot. So we control our destiny when it comes to the playoffs and possibly the division, man, because today is that key division matchup, man. You go 4-0 in this division, you sweep the Chiefs. That's confidence. That's confidence. That's a lot to build on. That's momentum. There's a lot of things to build on, a lot of positives, man, moving forward. And, so much to, and here's the thing. And like going back, man, and Watts knows, man, this is Jon Gruden versus Andy Reid, man. These guys go back to Mike Holmgren, the Holmgren tree from Brett Favre back in the day. And this is a lot to build on, man, right now, man. And so like all the experts they're going to talk about Mahomes and Andy Reid, while Jon Gruden and Derek Carr are somewhat forgotten in the mix as far as a competition standpoint. But there's a way I look at it is I'm old school, man. I look at it from like, hey, man, we got 1998 Jon Gruden back. This team is a Jon Gruden team. Alec Ingold is the Jon Gruden fullback, back there leading the way. The 41 rushing attempts you saw last week, the 200-yard rushing, the 1-2 punch with Devontae Booker and Josh Jacobs. And going back to Riddick being out, Jalen Richard not being out as well, possibly, because I didn't look at the injury report. I apologize, but going back to that, Devontae Booker, man, just up his carries, because Devontae Booker, man, is getting the job done, man. He is running. Him and Josh Jacobs look alike. They look alike the way they use their feet, the way their pad level, and the way they're running the football in between the tackles. Because Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson especially, Gabe Jackson's dominating, and he's earning every bit of that paycheck this year. And, it's actually great to see, because I've actually been focusing in on those matchups, and Gabe Jackson for 2, maybe 3 straight weeks is dominating, and I'm loving every bit of it. So, and Joe Watts, all right, cool. I appreciate you dropping that in. We talked about that a little bit. We got to back up that bus ride, man. And like I said, I didn't read too fully into that story. I read it on Monday, but that story dragged out all week. And I personally think that's something Andy Reid is using to try to get his team fired up, so they don't overlook us. But once again, man, I think, yeah, but I do agree. We do need to back that up. We got to back it up. There's a lot of talk, Jon Gruden has responded to it. And so I think backing it up is 110, man. You got to back up, what you're saying out there. And, when you put it out there for everybody to feed on. So, but also, I'd like to see, that light a fire under our defense, guys like Jonathan Abram, man, because we know Travis Kelce, he's a player that will taunt, man. That guy's always, not that I'm against celebrating or anything. It's okay to celebrate all that. But Travis Kelce takes it to that taunting level, and so, and you got, Patrick Mahomes, he's constantly, it looks like he already knows what the ref's going to calling his own first downs, or, you name it. So, and some even saying that he walked off the field and doesn't, shake hands or whatever, which I don't know if there's a lot of truth to that, but who knows? But once again, we've just been on the losing end for so long, that, all that hype is built around those guys, and that's their way of celebrating victories. Whereas we as Raiders, we know, man, we want to win and move on, dude. We want to win and move on, and just add to that Raider legacy, man. And that's what I'm all about, man. So yeah. Yeah, and I love, let me pop that up again here real quick. And just so everybody knows, I will put this on Spotify, iTunes, all that, man. So I want to be very clear when I read somebody's comment and then answer it and all that. So Watts put in there, don't worry, Abram is going to hit somebody. We're popping off helmets. I love it, bro. And that's, man, Jonathan Abram, man, I couldn't tell you how happy. He was not on my mock. Of course, I like the guy. But I was so happy when we signed him, man. And I love going back and watching his college highlights. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out, dude. You can Google it. I think you could find it on Twitter's best. But the hit on Beanie Broswell, that was a running back from back in his days at Mississippi State. And it was a scrimmage, and it was in like 2017, I think. It was like, I think Abram, I forget. I think it was like a sophomore, freshman that year. But it was a scrimmage, dude, versus the offense, and Abram laid this dude out. This dude just went for the ball, and Abram just ran him over. I mean, trucked him. I've never seen a player. It's a Jack Tatum hit. Let me just put it that way. It's a Jack Tatum hit. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Just put Jonathan Abram, Beanie Broswell. It's the most wicked hit you'll ever see. And it'll make you think. It made me think. I mean, like, usually I like good hits, but it was one of those ones where I went, ooh. I was like, damn, it made me feel bad for Beanie Broswell on that one. He couldn't stand up straight after that. So yes, Jonathan Abram, there is an element to Jonathan Abram that we've seen him hit in the NFL, but tonight, because this is a nationally televised game, dude, you might see, as Watts said, Jonathan Abram literally pop a helmet off of somebody today. That's very possible, and I want to see it, because, like I said, I don't have much hatred in my heart. I'm a pretty loving human being, but I hate the Chiefs, man. I've always hated the Chiefs. This goes back to the mid '80s. I mean, I went to a game years ago. I met like Barry Word, Christian Okoye, all those guys. I mean, they were mass. Steve DeBerg. Who else was on that team? And then later on, they got Marcus Allen, all that stuff. But the Marty Ball days till now, I cannot stand this team. And then Broncos, with Elway and all that. I always laughed at Elway, but then Elway got good, and then I was like, oh crap. Then I developed a hatred towards the Broncos. The Chargers, I always laughed about that. It's crazy how they didn't even win anything in that whole run they had with Rivers, but it is what it is for them. But yeah, no, trust me, that type of play, Abram, I try to keep a lid on it, man, because I will get fired up, with Jonathan Abram, laying the wood out there on the football field. So I love that comment, man. Yes, and I love it there. And you know what? Let me follow up on that. Lisette Romero, man. Yeah, I love it. There will be a fight. And that's another thing. I can't remember who put it out. Somebody put out some content this week. It was on Facebook or it was on Instagram. I ran across it, and it was all the Chiefs Raiders sideline brawls. And it was always, now see, here's the thing. When it comes to Raiders Chiefs, I'm always okay with a personal foul that might cost us 15 yards. If it's a statement, if you got to make a statement on defense, that, I mean, I'll take a 15-yard penalty to provide the right statement hit, man, because sometimes that's what defense is all about. And sometimes you need that on a defense, and especially in a Chiefs Raiders rivalry. This used to be the number 1 or number 2 rivalry in the NFL. I think it still might be. They always put Green Bay, Chicago in the top for like rivalries. There is no more hated of a rivalry than the Chiefs and the Raiders. If you know the Raiders Chiefs football, this has to be the number 1 rivalry, in my opinion, not just because I'm a Raider fan, but I just don't see that hatred between Chicago and Green Bay like I do with the Chiefs and the Raiders, man. So I love it, guys. I love it. I appreciate those comments as well. And yeah, And I agree. Let me get to Edgar Bonilla here, man. He had a good one. I say we sign Booker and Nelson Aguilar right now. We beat KC. Let's do donuts in the Vegas Strip. You know it, dude. I was gonna be there today, bro. I canceled my room. I had a good rate, all that. They doubled my rental car, dude. It's like a 3.5 hour drive from where I'm at, but they doubled my rental car. I mean, just it's a little weird out there, man, right now. So I just figure like I kind of laid low, but I mean, I kind of like, I'm having mixed feelings too. Like, man, I wish I was in Vegas right now and all that, but I just couldn't do it, man. I called up and I'm like, hey, I got the right contacts. And they're like, dude, you're going to get tapped on the shoulder, dude, if you're running around tonight. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm just going to stay home. So, now watch, I love that. Yep. I saw Abram pick that fight last week, man, and that was nice, man. They ejected Johnson, of course, but yeah, dude. But yeah, those are the types of tone setters, man. That's the tone setter where, you know, this is a team game, man. This is where, you're backing up your fellow man wearing silver and black. You know what I mean? This is where, winning for us fans is at all costs. And that's why I like what Mayock and Gruden did. Gruden did the right thing. Gruden drafted horribly, man, in 2018. I mean, we know Colton Miller worked out. We see Brandon Parker. He's out there doing work. But guys like Nick Nelson in the 4th round that didn't stay on the team. Now we got Isaiah Johnson, a Mike Mayock pick. So Gruden did the right thing, bringing Mike Mayock in and getting the right players to fit the offense and fit the game plan. I think everything is going good. Everything's looking good. I mean, you're seeing the results. 6-3 football team. This team's very young. Josh Jacobs, he's only in his 2nd season. I mean, and he is literally the key to this offense. This offense is built around Josh Jacobs, the running game. And so Alec Ingold, an undrafted free agent or late 7th rounder or whatever, whenever they got him, you know what I mean? So this team is built just as Jon Gruden visioned, and with the help of Mike Mayock. So, so moving forward with this, man, I'm looking forward to possibly heavy tight end sets today. I think Jason Witten's been a little key sleeper in there as well, and his blocking, man, at times, his 3rd down conversions and all that. So we might see him. It's Sunday Night Football, so Jason Witten could actually be a part of a key part of the game plan for tonight as well. So, but yeah, let me just go through my my notes here real quick, and then yeah, I saw that too. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I saw that they showed the replay on that too, and then yeah, and then I didn't see what Isaiah Johnson did. I didn't see what Isaiah Johnson did because he got ejected. But I guess there were some reports that I did not rewatch that game. But yeah, Watts put in there. He hit a wide receiver that wasn't even the play, and he also threw the ball at a player's face mask after the play. And it's the little things, man, that he's going to do, and that's how you get inside of their head. They know that's coming. But here's the thing: is that's where we'll see how Andy Reid has his team prepared for this game, because it's Andy Reid coming off the bye week, and we all know how he's always successful coming off his bye week. He only has 2 losses, I believe, in his career combined, Philadelphia and KC career. And so, is Andy Reid going to have this team ready for that? Is Travis Kelce going to react? Because Jonathan Abrams going to bring it, dude, and that's the key. And the refs will be watching, as Watts stated in there as well. The refs are going to be watching, but it's how you get that reactionary. Does it turn into a team brawl? Do they actually find the culprit? Because sometimes if you're the one to initiate, they always don't catch you right away. It's always the guy that has the reactionary move out there, and that's the guy that usually gets ejected, or flagged. And now they're ejecting players like nothing. Now they just, it could be the littlest thing and they eject you, man, in this game. But another thing too, I just think the big adjustment on defense though is the fact that Corey Littleton, I mean, as much as I'm a fan of Corey Littleton, I think he's making an adjustment to the 4-3. I just think this defense is better suited without him right now on the field. So that's a good thing. So guys like Nicholas Morrow, he showed us, man, he's been evolving with this defense since Jack Del Rio. He's been a part of this thing, man. And he's just that guy, that blue collar linebacker, man, that just suits up, gets the job done, man. And he's had his moments for this Raider defense. So I think that's going to be a big impact for today versus the last game, because Corey Littleton was a part of that game. And man, when you watch the film, Corey Littleton is lost, and so, yeah, and he's right. I'm gonna put Watts' comment up there. Um, you know, Andy Reid is butthurt, man. He's 14. Oh, it's 14-3. He had us down 14-3, but we still scored 40-1, and that's true, man. I the Raiders made the adjustment. And it wasn't like they dialed up this crazy blitz on Patrick Mahomes. What they did was they just made adjustments as far as players and their assignments on where they're supposed to be on the field. As far as clogging up passing lanes, you name it. So that I think that just played a huge role in confusion as far as like containing Mahomes. It wasn't like they did anything crazy to shut him down. It was just keeping everything in front of them, and and then they were able to make that adjustment and at the right time. And then the Chiefs made the adjustment late in the game where they were like they figured it out. So that's what's going to be the next test. And I think rather than getting in a shootout, which I would love to see a shootout. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see Derek Carr and Patrick Mahomes go toe to toe, and Derek Carr put up 4 touchdowns and just win this. Man, that would be huge. If Derek Carr just took this game like, hey, this is my offense. I'm going to freaking throw up 4 touchdowns today. That's the game plan. I'm going to outplay Patrick Mahomes today. That I would be all for that. But I think today, I just have a feeling that today Josh Jacobs is going to be that X factor, man, in today's game as far as sustaining drives with a heavy rush package and finding the end zone, because that's what Josh Jacobs does so good. And you're facing the 29th ranked rushing defense in the NFL versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They're struggling. Steve Spagnuolo, on the other hand, that's the guy. If you have Derek Carr sit in the pocket, that guy's pretty good at dialing up blitzes. Not only that, you got guys like Chris Jones, man, who gets good penetration in the middle, and you just don't want him breaking the pocket. The Raiders are a little shaky at the offensive line position. We're still trying to get healthy, and we don't want to put too much pressure on guys like Brandon Parker. You got the injuries with Sam Young. He's always in and out on the field. So yeah, once again, I just think pounding the rock today, man. I just think that's a Gruden style. Andy Reid knows it. Just get that old school Gruden versus Andy Reid, man. And I think I think today's definitely a winnable matchup for the Raiders, as we know with the way they played the Chiefs the first time around, and we know with the way this team's rolling. I mean, the Chiefs are on a 4-game winning streak right now too. The Raiders are on a 3-game winning streak. So you snap their 4-game winning streak, and you start your 4-game to 5-game winning streak. So yeah, no, I love it. I love it, man. So man, we're putting up 35. We're putting up 30. I like it, Watts, right there. I'll put right here. Watts got it down, dude. 300 yards for Carr, 3 TDs. Jacobs, 2 touchdowns, 85 yards. I like it, man. That's another 40-point game right there. And another guy we got to factor in is Daniel Carlson, man. Daniel Carlson's hitting some long distance field goals, man, and he's looking clean out there with his kicks and all that, man. He's looking fluid. It's not like he's looking shaky or stressed or anything. And I know there's no pressure with no crowd. But Daniel Carlson has been a nice nice as far as us getting points on the board, because you just don't want to leave points on the board. And that's what the Raiders did, and so, and you're right, Watts. Watts put in the chat as well. Get turnovers, we win. Now, that's one thing I talked about all year, man. We've been in the -4 category all year in turnovers. I think we're at one point we were -5. I think the Chiefs are +8. Right now, the Raiders are +1, which is huge. This is something to build on. You build off that. They flipped it in one game, 5 turnovers in one game, and just flipped it into the +1. Man, that's something to build on, man. You build on those turnovers because that's confidence for your defense. That's part of the stat sheet that's not always going to show up, because the Raiders, they struggle against the pass. They struggle against the run on defense, statistically wide with yardage and all that. But it comes down to getting those turnovers, man. And like I said, if Mullen, our defensive backs, this is the Mike Mayock crop back there, man. Jonathan Abram, dude, we love our defensive backfield. Raider Nation, we're loving what we're seeing back there, man. I like what I see from Trey. I've been happy with Trayvon Mullen pretty much since he's taken the field. And, so yeah, man, Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnette, we're going to see more of him today. We saw what Isaiah Johnson brought to the table in those big matchups with Mike Mike Williams from the Chargers. You know what I mean? They'll say, oh, well, his helmet hit the ground and the ball came loose. No, Isaiah Johnson having those long arms, he's 6'2", that length, that athletic ability, his 4.4 speed, that played a role, believe it or not. Just because his helmet hit the ground, the ball came out. Same with the 6'8", 6'9" tight end that the Chargers went to on the last play of the game. Though his size and his athleticism actually created enough disruption, is disruptive enough to create that play, and that's why he's the great matchup in the red zone. So yeah, man, turnovers is Raider football. It is flipping the script, baby. You flip the script, and man, and I can't wait I want to see that. I want to see more stripping the ball. Max Crosby showed us, man. There was a play, not against Justin Herbert, where he nearly had a strip sack, man, where he picked his pocket, and we might see that. And that's one guy I did not talk about today at all, was Max Crosby. Now, Max Crosby, he had a sweet sack in that last matchup versus the Chiefs, where he cut back upfield to get Mahomes down. That was clutch. Now, that's just athletic ability right there. That's pure effort, man. And talent, effort just translates. So, you put 110% effort out there, it translates and makes you more talented, man, because you start to develop, more skills and all that. So Chop, what's up, bro? I got to say what's up to you, man. It's been a minute. What's up, brother? Happy Sunday to you, man. Happy Sunday to you. I'm chilling from the pad today, dude. Was debating on going to Vegas. Had it booked, but I'm at home today, dude. We're going to fire up the grill, dude. We're going to do a tri-tip. I went to Target, believe it or not, Super Target up the street. Had a nice little tri-tip there, dude. So I'm going to salt and pepper that bad boy, put it on the smoker. I'm old school, by the way. I use blocks of wood. I don't use a Traeger. I'm not fancy or nothing, but I got the old school, regulate the temperature. I don't use a thermometer or nothing, but that shit comes out nice and tender. And I'm going to start crushing the Modelo's here. What time is it here? It's about 11:45. So it's almost Modelo time. It's almost Modelo time, man. I'm going to sap on this coffee. Modelo time's coming up. We got the tequila, the 1800, where you can pour your own shot. And you know what I'm saying? And we got the Raider shot glasses in full force, dude. I'm going to get really numb tonight, dude, because I'm going to let loose. The neighborhood's going to know what game's on tonight. And yeah, man. So, and you're right. You're right. And yes, carne asada, man. I know I did that last week, man. I love it, man. I love it, dude. I actually started today with a breakfast burrito, dude. A little bit of eggs, a little bit of peppers, all that. Didn't go crazy with the potatoes or nothing, but just threw it in a tortilla, dude. Had that with my coffee, dude. That was the way we started the day. But it's been a good weekend, man. Had some friends over the weekend, dude. And actually, everybody wants to start up a podcast, dude. So I've been working with everybody on their podcasts and stuff, and like all kinds of stuff, just having fun, man. But yeah, dude. So Watts, man, you're right. Carl Nassib, should be in for defensive end Cleveland Farrell. Now, like I said, but they've been rotating Farrell to play interior as well. So, Carl Nassib, man, he had a key interception as well. Another turnover, another guy, and here's another thing. And now that's one thing. Now remember Nick Kwiatkowski, man, he closed in on Mahomes, he flushed Mahomes out of the pocket in that last game. Now with Nick Kwiatkowski, he might be a little bit more free in the middle of the field, because once again, I'm not trying to pick on Corey Littleton at all. It's straight up. Like, when you watch the film with Corey Littleton on the field, man, there's a lot of confusion with him in this 4-3 defense, man. And so I think Nick Kwiatkowski, man, with Nicholas Morrow in the mix now, I think that's just going to make up. I think that so far we've seen that make up. And now, I'm thinking Nick Kwiatkowski, man, he might be a little bit more free in the middle of the field, and he might get a few opportunities on Mahomes, because Nick Kwiatkowski typically, he can get to the quarterback. And, if he's there to flush Mahomes out of the pocket, because they're not going to send the blitz crazy amount of times. We always like it when we see Jonathan Abram lined up and he's showing blitz. I like that, because you want to see Jonathan Abram get a hit on Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, man, So I'm looking forward to that. I think our linebackers, I'm really happy with our corners. I'm really happy with our safeties. We saw that last week. Jeff Heath, 2 interceptions. Stepped in front of one of the passes too. That's just pure reading the quarterback right there. So hopefully they had enough film, and hopefully they had enough, prep going into this, because I know the defense wasn't around. And so with all that laid out, hopefully there was just enough enough on film there that Gunther was able to point out for this secondary and these linebackers, man, because just being at the right place at the right time when Patrick Mahomes throws the football is going to be essential, because he takes those risk throws. They always work out for him. They most of the time work out for him. But if you guys already know, if he's throwing across his body, or he's throwing a no-look pass, you kind of want us to guess right. I want to guess right today. As a matter of fact, I might even, hey, if we guess right, go buy a lottery ticket. You know how that works. You know what I'm saying? So, I would just love to see a big turnover opportunity today. As much as we saw the Raiders put up 5 turnovers last week on defense and get 5 changes of possession, I think today, if you could get that pick 6, man, that could be a huge game changer. So let's pop up Watts' comment here. Yes, and now here's the thing. Abram needs to be the help, though. Too much speed on KC to be reckless blitzing. Exactly. And they did. I think they only blitzed like 3% of the game last time. So they didn't send too much of a blitz after Mahomes the last matchup. But yeah, they do got Mecole Hardman. He's been activated back onto the roster. So he, I believe, is playing. You got speed at tight end with Travis Kelce. You guys already know Tyreek Hill. One guy that has not been electric in their offense is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man. He's gotten lost in the mix. So we got to make sure we keep an eye on him. And 2, here's another one. Le'Veon Bell, man. We cannot forget that Le'Veon Bell was signed to this team. Le'Veon Bell has been playing football this whole time, man. Le'Veon Bell, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. So Le'Veon Bell is a guy that we got to take out of the mix as well. So we got to basically make them one-dimensional, continue to key in on guys, and that's where the linebackers are going to come in. Guys like Nick Kwiatkowski, Nicholas Morrow, they're going to be pretty much manning the middle and containing that rush, man, because guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you don't want to see him catching a football on 3rd down, and you don't want to see Le'Veon Bell, because they're going to try. I just have a funny feeling today you're going to see a heavy dose of Le'Veon Bell. They're going to at least try to get him in the mix because they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and Le'Veon Bell, he was added to the roster, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe even 4 weeks ago. So that's just enough time to get enough plays and enough of him involved in the game plan, man. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. And once again, if the Raiders can just stuff the run, make them one-dimensional, that's the key, man. And not only that, containing Patrick Mahomes, because he will use his legs as well. So Patrick Mahomes is a rusher as well. But hopefully we get on the opposite end, game, clock control, AFC West matchup, old school AFC West matchup, man. Heavy dose of Josh Jacobs, Devontae Booker, Yes, and Watts chimed in there as well. He put screens, bro. He goes, that's how they're going to use their running, and he's right. They will use their running backs there, and they'll use them right across the middle of the field too. They'll do them on a screen. They'll do it, and then not only that, the wide receiver screens, because you got the speed with Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, but once again, I'm interested to see how they match up though, because Trayvon Mullen, I have so much. I'm confident with a guy like Trayvon Mullen as far as our I just love Trayvon Mullen, man. I'm waiting for that game where he just takes over, and the jet sweeps, chop brought in those jet sweeps as well. They're going to be running everything. So Sammy Watkins, okay, cool. So I did not check the injury report. I didn't check the injury report today, but Chop dropped in there. Sammy Watkins is out of this football game. And I know they just activated Mecole Hardman. He's another speedster as well. But Watkins is one that's under the radar. A lot of times Watkins gets overlooked in this offense. Watkins is a top 5 pick, dude. Another Clemson guy, I believe. Watkins came out of Clemson as well, man. That was a guy we could have drafted years ago. Sammy Watkins is a receiver that just flies under the radar all the time. So once again, if Sammy Watkins is not in this football game tonight and ruled out, that's a huge upgrade as well for our defense. That helps us out. Demarcus Robertson, I know, he's like a, he works they're able to operate with him in the offense. He's a tall guy, he's speedster as well. I think he hurt us in that week 2 matchup in Oakland last year. So once again, that's going to be that height advantage, I believe, right there. But, maybe a guy like, Isaiah Johnson. A guy named a guy like Isaiah Johnson is a good matchup in those red zones. And like I said, it's going to really come down to defense in the red zone because Patrick Mahomes is going to move that football. They're going to get in the red zone, and that's where all the opportunities are going to be present, man. And it's just really come down to, just like Watts put it there in the chat, follow the ball, don't get sucked in. You know what I mean? And I love it, man. And I'm looking forward down the road, dude. We'll have to collab again, bro, and get a live stream going and get on here and do some back and forth football talk, man, because I love it. It's been one of those crazy years, for all of us. I've been kind of making the adjustments, waiting for things just to pop off, man. I actually had hopes this year. I was hoping that they were going to start letting fans go to the game today. This year. I was like, maybe by midseason they'll start letting us go to the games, man. But we'll see. So now Watts, yes, I agree. He put Ruggs, man. This has to be the breakout game. KC can't guard him. Fact. Ruggs, he opened up that game when we first faced the Chiefs. Over the shoulder catch. Used his hands. One thing Ruggs shows us is that he puts his hands out, grabs the football, and he's got his eyes on the football, and he's got a nice catch radius. I know last week he missed a long ball. Should have probably catch he should have reeled in, but this week, once again, I'm big on Ruggs. I'm a huge fan of Ruggs. Loved watching him at Alabama. Very similar to Josh Jacobs. One of those players you didn't see him get a full amount of reps in for Alabama, and then when you see him translate to the NFL, you see there's NFL ability there, NFL caliber player. Now with Henry Ruggs, I still look at him as, even if they don't get him heavy in the mix today, I'm still okay with it because I still think that Ruggs, and maybe today is the day. It should be the day, actually, because he did have a big game against KC last time, and he did not. He did have a breakout game, and KC couldn't guard him. But I just still think that Ruggs is that best kept secret weapon in the offense, man, because this is that old school Jon Gruden style, pound the rock, possession wide receivers, you name it. So Chop got a question in here. I'll answer this. He goes, who do you think is going to start the front four? So I think it's going to go Max Crosby, Jonathan Hankins, and I believe Mo Hurst is eligible to play. So I think Mo Hurst will be starting inside as well as far as the front four goes. And then you'll have Carl Nassib on the opposite end. But I think with defensive personnel, I think Gunther's just going to have to mix it up. I think that's what they did the last time, as far as just mixing up personnel and constantly changing it up, because and you might even see 5 down linemen at times, man. I'm thinking we might even have 5 down linemen at times. Maybe even put a bigger body in there, maybe stack up the middle, maybe have a David Irving on certain rotations, and then just maybe even have a 5 down set, 2 linebackers, you name it, because as you guys had mentioned, LaMarcus Joyner is going to be out, is expected not to play. So usually he's playing nickel. They've been rotating him to free safety, even though I like him as free safety. Free safety is more of his natural position, and he seems to thrive a little bit more in there. And that's where his highest PFF grade, I believe, was. But yeah, I think as far as the defensive fronts, I think we could have a lot of 5 down looks and 4 down lineman looks. We're not setting the pressure. We see that. We see our front four usually they're just rushed. They're just sending 4, but at the same time, it comes down to play design, all that, and how guys shed their blocks, as far as when it comes to getting pressure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, because yeah, with the way things went down this week, with guys not practicing and all that, so it's going to be, a lot of those other guys got reps, like Watts dropped in there, Arden Key and David Irving, man. Those guys probably had more reps. I don't know if Arden Key was on that list, but as far as sitting out this week, but guys like David Irving, whoever got those reps, during the week, we'll see what's in play for them, man, because that's going to be a key going in. Yes, Nevin Lawson actually impressed me. So Chop put in there, didn't Nevin Lawson play some snaps at slot cornerback last week? That I don't know if he was in slot, but I know he's been on the outside. He's been typically the number 2. But yeah, actually they did have him in the slot, and he looked good at times last week. But for the most part this year, I was pretty frustrated with him. But yes, last week and the week before, he definitely did look a lot better. But like I said, early on in the year, dude, I was a little suspect on him, man, because he was getting picked on first part of the season. And so, so yeah, moving forward, guys that I really want to see, if Nevin Lawson can continue to play good, then definitely, but yeah, I just have that, just with these young guys, man, like Amik Robertson and, and Isaiah Johnson, man, their ability, man. And I know the Raiders, they've kind of kept them out of the mix. They didn't give him that many reps early on. And Meek Robertson got burned early on this season, which is going to happen. It's going to happen. He's a smaller corner. His style is more of reading the quarterback and jumping those routes but in pick six opportunities. So, how they make that adjustment, how they use personnel in certain packages. It's going to be really interesting, man. But here's the great part, man. We're getting Sunday Night Football prime time, Sunday Night Football. But didn't Lawson step in though for Arnette when he was out? If I recall, I was just correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, but because I thought Lawson stepped in for when Arnette was out for a few weeks. But yeah. But here's the thing is, but like tonight, you're going to get the great breakdowns, man. We've been getting a lot of Fox coverage, a lot of Mark Shrelf, and I forget homeboy that announces with him. But tonight, man, we're going to get that in-depth coverage, man. We're going to get some storylines that we haven't heard all week. I'm pretty sure Al Michaels and those guys, even though he's a Raider hater, those guys are going to get that good analysis tonight of that in-depth coverage, stuff that we didn't hear this week in the newspapers, stuff that we didn't hear in any podcast. We're going to hear it tonight on the national spotlight because, they couldn't move this game. They could not, unlike the Tampa Bay Raider game where they had to bounce that out or move it up to the 1 o'clock slot. This game is going to be on prime time, man. They're going to get that in-depth coverage, and they're going to point out things. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of this broadcast crew, but like guys like Chris Collinsworth, he does point out some good matchups. One thing I've learned to do in life is I just kind of listen, even though I'm not a big fan of these guys, but I'm going to listen to those matchups. Yeah, he was. So yeah, he was playing it outside and because he was getting torched, man. That's what I saw. And thanks for pointing that out as well. But yeah, man. So anyway, we're gonna go through some. We'll just kind of wrap it up with a game prediction, man. I'm gonna kind of throw it out there. I'll kind of throw out some ideas here, man. But I'm gonna say defense continues to roll, man. We get a couple big turnovers in this game. We strike with a couple turnovers, man. I'm gonna say we slap the ball loose from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We pick on the rookie a little bit. We cause him to cough up the ball. We get a big turnover on defense. I'm even gonna say we get into the backfield, get to Patrick Mahomes, get a little strip sack, cause another turnover, so the Raiders pull out with 2 turnovers in this game. I'm going to say Josh Jacobs, man. I'm going to keep it simple. He pounds the rock 25 times. He gets 120 yards, drops in 2 touchdowns. I'll say Derek Carr, man. He drops in 2 touchdowns. And especially a key touchdown to Darren Waller. Hopefully Henry Ruggs gets in the mix, but, I think offense is going to put up a good 28 to 31 points in this one, and the Raiders pull it out, man. I'm going to say we pull out a 3-point victory tonight, man. I like it, Lisette. I like it. 32-27. She's got 32-27 Raiders, man. That's a 5-point victory. We're covering the spread again. And we're actually, there is no spread. We're 7.5 point underdogs, so. Oh, right on, dude. Right on. Hey, real quick, I got to give a shout out here, man. Watch got my attention with the European Raiders. Shout out to you, Dennis, man. Welcome to the show, buddy. This is Grimecast. Pleasure to have you on here. That's what we need, bro. We need a clean sweep this year of the Kansas City Chiefs, a huge confidence builder, something for this young team to build on, man. This is a young team. Love what the Raiders did, man. Love what the Raiders did. It's been a process. We've all trusted the process. Jon Gruden came into this thing, and he gutted this team, man, and he rebuilt it to what we're seeing now. And we're seeing 1998 all over again. There you go, Watts. Carlson to win it. And you guys know I was hard on Carlson last year a little bit, man. That Denver game, that missed extra point frustrated me. But Carlson, man, I love it when, players rebound, man. And not that I was doing anything wrong, but I'm just saying he had some struggles last year and, on track this year, nailing those 52-yarders right down the middle. So, yeah, baby, let's get that big win. late in the game. I love what I'm seeing in here. It's Raider football, man. Everybody's rolling, man. And you know what? Most of all, what I hope for is, man, when we get back to everything goes back to, I cannot wait to tailgate again. I cannot wait to go to a Raider game again, man, and cheers it in the parking lot, man. That's one thing that's been empty in my soul this year, man, is that, like, we just have not been able to get together as fans and go to a game. And, I'm looking forward to that day again, man. I'm looking forward to that again. And, but till then, we'll be partying in the living room, cheering it on. I'm going to make my neighbors mad today. And, cheers, Raider Nation. It's about to be Modelo time, baby. We're at noon, baby. We're at noon. And we got good weather out in Southern California, man. 70 degrees right now, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, baby. So much love, Raider Nation. I'll be catching up with you. I'll catch up with you as well, Watts, man. Hopefully we'll do a collab, man. We'll jump on a channel and make it happen, baby. There we go. And now, you know what? Let me end it with this right here for Watts. Man, if we hold KC to 21, we're a Super Bowl contender. You bet your ass we are, man. Hell yeah. Because KC, I think they're like a 31 points a game, dude. We're 28 points a game, giving up 26 points a game. So even bigger. This defense, that actually helped our defense as well, because we had a game where against Cleveland we only gave up 6 points. Last week only 12 points. And so yeah, man. And I'm going to catch up on some of these games too, because I see you guys, keeping me updated on the game. But yes, and that's the key, is being a Super Bowl contender, man. That's what's just being in a Super Bowl contending conversation this year is huge, man. After 2 drafts from Mike Mayock, man, and Jon Gruden in his 3rd year as far as scripting games, you name it. So, and Dennis, shout out to you, man. It's not, so you're going to be watching the game at 2 a.m. Crazy, dude. Yeah, 9 p.m. over there right now, man. So shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, brother. And I hope you have a great time, man. I hope you have a great time. The energy is worldwide. Let's make it. Let's make that known. The energy is worldwide. Shout out to you, Dennis, man. Worldwide, brother. Much love, man. So I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you all for coming onto the chat today, man. We'll be popping off a little bit more, trying to get in the groove, man. Take some time, get it all dialed in, and do appreciate you guys in here chopping it up with Raider Dave, and go from there. And we can score 45. We could score 45, man. We put up 40 on this defense last time, and very possible, very within reach as well, man, because once again, man, it depends on how they open up this game plan. The Raiders have all the weapons. They got the speed. They got the running game. They got the offensive line. Even though they've had to scrap this offensive line together. They got the all-pro tight end. They even got the veteran all-pro tight end with Jason Witten, who could be a factor as well. Now let's not even forget Foster Morrow, man. Foster Morrow, one of your bigger red zone targets. If the Raiders get Morrow heavily, he had 5 touchdowns last year, I think, throughout like 11 games or something. Foster Morrow's a big target in the red zone. And then we got Hunter Renfrow, man. So the Raiders have, you got the speed. I mean, they got everything in place. And if you really think about it, there's enough depth on this team, and it's proven with the offensive line. I mean, I'm just amazing what Tom Cable and Jon Gruden have done for that offensive line to keep that thing rolling, man. So that's right. And you know what? Let's drop it with that. Let's drop Jesse Rosales, man. He comes in with the comment right there of the day. Gruden and Mayock built this team to beat the Chiefs. That's it. That's it. They did. They did build this team to beat the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I mean, you draft Henry Ruggs for that primary reason, man. And I just love it. I love it. That is what I'm going to feed on for today, man. When we're flipping that tri-tip, we're flipping them chicken wings, all that stuff. Raider Nation for life, brother. You know it. You know it. The Raider tat, the tat goes back to 1999. That's how excited. When Gruden said he's bringing back 1998, that's when I got my Raider tattoo in 1999. So much excitement. Oh gosh, I love it, man. You had Jon Gruden with his play calls, and you had Al Davis with his play calls. And Al Davis, the spirit of Al Davis still lives inside of Jon Gruden, because that's why he drafted Henry Ruggs. Bombs away, baby. Air it out. Just go deep. That's what I'm saying, man. So much love to you guys, man. I'm fired up. I'm feeling good. We're about to crush them Modelos, get a little tequila in the system, get the grill rolling, and man, it's on and popping. We are almost exactly 5 hours away from this game, and we'll be back, man. I appreciate you as well, Lisette, man. Definitely we'll be back with a live stream. And just a heads up for this channel, man, I like to do vlogs, live streams, and a little bit of podcasting. And this year's just been a little slow. I'm I'm one of those. Yeah, there you go, brother. There you go, brother. Cheers. I'm going to cheers my coffee to that. You know what I'm saying? And, but I do feed off of that stuff. I'm a frequent Vegas guy. I'm a Southern California guy. I grew up on the LA Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, been going to games to the Coliseum, both Coliseums, LA and Oakland. And then I wanted to go to Vegas this year. You know what I mean? It's expensive, but, it just didn't work out and we can't go to games. So, but I typically go to Vegas, do the vlogs, all that. Been kind of going there for the, during the stadium build and all that, having fun and bringing the camera, just kind of doing some vlogs out there. And this year's just been a little different, as you guys know. So just keeping a lid on this year, kind of, huddled up for the year. But check this out, man. I can't wait till things get back to normal. I can't wait till we get the tailgating going, because I will see you guys at a tailgate. We will crush some beers. We'll cheers it. We're going to get each other fired up. And that's what it's all about, baby. So, and I love it. And that's another thing, Dennis. You know what I mean? I love it. I don't want the media on our sides. 2017 jinxed us, man. If you guys remember, 2016, we had the great year with Derek Carr, man. We should have won the division that year. And the following year, the media hyped us, man. The media got on our side, started saying the Raiders are going to knock off the Patriots. There's only one team in the AFC, all that. And you know what? That jinxed us. I don't want the media to like us. I don't want, other teams to like us, or think that we're going to be good. I'd rather be a 7.5 point underdog every week. Give me that hate. Give me the hate that you hate the Raiders. Everybody hates the Raiders. So you want to hate the Raiders? Don't start to like us, because it doesn't, we don't feed off of that. I need to feed off that hate. Make us 7.5 point underdogs every week, because you know what, baby? That's what we feed off of, man. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it. Just win, baby. All right, you guys, man. Much love. I'm Raider Dave. I'll catch you guys again, man. And Watts, we're gonna get on a live stream again, bro. I'm gonna shoot you an email, dude. We'll get it dialed in, dude. We're gonna get fired up, baby. That's what I'm saying. So much love, everybody. I'm Raider Dave. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Go Raiders. Go Raiders.